everyone, it's Christy here. I'm back with part 3 of my October daily series for 2019. And in this one, I'm doing my embellishments. So I'm gluing stuff down finally. In my last 2 videos, I was just getting things ready, prepping them so that this process would be as quick as possible. This stage of my mini album will be released in 2 videos. It wasn't as quick as I thought, but it's still much quicker than if you don't pick your products and place your products in like the batch system that I use. So here I just did a really quick title page. I chose a picture of my girls in their costumes, so that kind of starts the album. And then on the reverse side, I am also using a 4x6 pattern paper. And this is kind of going to be my reason why, or like kind of summary page on this bigger journaling card. There's not a lot of journaling in this album. You can see that pile of black labels just off to the right there. That's what I'm choosing to use throughout the album, just to kind of put a sentence or two for each kind of story. You know, with October Daily and December Daily, it's just kind of more about the creating and the keeping of the memories, not so much about the journaling, which I know is terrible, but I also do weekly project life, so I feel like the stories are told there as well. And I just want to kind of keep it fun and light so I don't do a ton of journaling in these albums. But as you can see, in each pocket I have placed some embellishments. That's my starting point. And then I have off to the side there, off to the left, the 6x12 sticker sheet, the sticker book pack, and then the puffy stickers that I am reaching for and just kind of adding what I see fit. I also have some holographic hearts that I pulled from my stash that were from Studio Calico, and I've had them for quite some time, and I just thought that that would be perfect since there's some holographic elements in this collection. So at this point, I'm just adding things. I really like that spooky sticker. I like the font. I like the outlined, that it's outlined in white. I like that it's a cardstock sticker. I really wish this collection had more elements like that. I had a really hard time using the vellum stickers that were in like the little sticker book pack. You'll see me kind of struggling with them here and there throughout. So I really wish I had used more of those, but it is what it is. So right now I'm deciding, like, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of doing my finishing steps at the same time, which is adhering my cards and photos back to back. In mini albums, I like to do this because I don't like to see the reverse side of those cards or like white backing showing through, so I adhere them just really quickly back to back. And then you saw me choosing a date stamp. In my earlier videos for my October daily prep, I mentioned that this year I'm doing something a little bit different for me in that I'm not focusing on the days like October 1st, October 2nd, October 3rd, all the way through to the 31st, but instead I chose 31 stories or 31 events that I wanted to tell. I still wanted to include the date, even if it's not like chronological. So I did pull out 2 date stamps. One was Heidi Swap and one was just from my local dollar store. Decided to go with the Heidi Swap one. But then as I'm adding the date, I'm realizing that I was just going chronologically. So the first story I stamped October 1st, the second story I stamped October 2nd, and I almost stamped the third story as October 3rd before realizing, wait a second, that's not right. So luckily what I had stamped already was correct, October 1st and October 2nd. I will have to go back and double check dates for the rest, but I will be doing that off camera. So I'm just adding some more, just did a few extra pages there in my little ramble. I really love the way this card turned out. I love the green in this collection. And paired with the black and white polka dot, it's one of my favorite cards, even though it's super, super simple. And I'm doing my classic doodly border. I just love the way that that looks. I don't do it a lot throughout the album because some of the pattern papers don't really lend well to the outlining, but I do add it here and there. And I love this album has like a mix of sizes. So you have the 4x6 page protector, you have the two 3x4s, and then you have the 4x4 size. I don't do a lot of 4x4, so it was really fun to include those photos. And for the most part, I had the 3x4 photo, but for the most part, I trimmed them down to be 3x3 and then kind of back them on some white cardstock. And I just like the way that that allows it to pop off the pattern a bit. Tried to use one of those vellum stickers there and just didn't really like it. Tried to put it on the label, but thought that the label itself is already so small that I'm not going to be able to include a lot of journaling. And so I removed it from there, and it ended up tearing the label, so I had to put a different label on there. This is also one of my favorite cards. I kind of struggled with it, but it ends up being really neat, I think, with this added spider web. So I add the spider web so that the spider is touching the label and kind of balancing on the label, and then the rest of the embellishments I add are kind of on a diagonal. So I just really like that it's kind of different, and I like all the colors. And this stripe pattern paper is one of my favorite papers in the collection. I love the pinks that it includes. I just really like those shades of pink, so I like that one a lot. And like I mentioned, I'm just backing it to whatever's on the reverse. Then I remembered that I had previously punched out these tabs with my tab punch. And so I just thought, oh, while I'm at it, I might as well be adding those as well. Just really trying to get it done. This album didn't take like super long, but just the different stages take time, and I'm so happy that it's completed, and it was a lot of fun to make, and it really did come together quite quickly. I really like these little puffy stickers. The ephemera in this collection is really large, and so I loved using the stickers from the sticker sheets and the sticker books and the puffy stickers because the scale fit the mini album so much better than the large ephemera pieces. I still have a ton of ephemera left over, so I look forward to using this collection in my family album for my October pages or my Halloween week layout. The sticker book also came with some black glittery stickers. Did not use any of those throughout the album. I'm just not really a big fan of glitter, so I opted not to use those. But I did really like using this ephemera piece that was a 3x4, and then a little bit later, and possibly in my next video, I remembered that I had a cut apart sheet that had 3x4 cards included, so I used some of those in my project as well. Some of my pockets held 2 photos, and so I knew I wanted to incorporate both of the photos because I had printed them, but I wanted to kind of create a bit of a pocket within the pocket. So you see that on the snowy picture, I am adhering 3 sides to the pattern paper, and then I trimmed the additional photo to fit in behind, and I played around with adding like kind of a pull tab, but I didn't have any orange or black ribbon, which would have been ideal, and I only had baker's twine, so I kind of you saw me there trying to figure that out, but I didn't love it, so I'm gonna just wait and see maybe at a later date I can get some ribbon that I like to add, and then people will know that there's something in behind. You can kind of see it right now peeking in behind, but I think it would be more obvious if I had a ribbon there. And I did back that photo with pattern paper just because I had it, and I actually forgot to back photos I repeat this element later on, but I forgot to back the photo with pattern paper, so I'll have to go back and do that. I like that photo too with the snow, just with the bat and the mwahaha. We got a huge dump of snow on that day, and so it was so beautiful, but it's still kind of early, not really ready for winter yet. So this card is another one of my favorites. Nora, mostly because of the photos, but Nora had some immunizations on this day, and the nurse gave her a bunch of stickers afterwards. She had to get 3 needles, so the nurse gave her 3 stickers, and Nora wanted them on her arm just by her band-aid, so I took a picture of that, and then she was quite scared, so I used that scary embellishment that had like um, perforated pieces, so I ripped those apart and layered them up so that they fit nicely on the photo, on the card. Here's another shaker pocket that I had made in my previous video, and I'm just adding a tab. So anything that is smaller than 4x6 that people viewing the album might miss in turning the pages, I added a tab just punched out from leftover pattern paper. And yeah, I just really like doing that. It's really simple, and I just use my tiny attacher. And because I printed my photos on my Canon Selfie, they are a little bit smaller than 3x4 and 4x6 because I trimmed them down, right? Like 2 3x4s on a 4x6, so I trimmed them in half. They are a little bit smaller, and so I kind of pushed the photo to the side and stapled the tab, and that kind of secures things a little bit better, just having that staple in there. The staple isn't stapled to the photo or the card, but instead just to the page protector. So now I'm starting to get smart here, and I'm working on cards side by side just to kind of eliminate that putting things back into pockets and fooling around that way. So these 4x6 cards are going to be adhered back to back, but I was working on them kind of simultaneously, and it just kind of went a little bit quicker. So just documenting a fun date that we took to Five Guys, and you can kind of see there in the 2x2 pocket a picture that Nora drew at Five Guys and put back on the wall. And then I was awarded a pin for my 10 years of teaching, so that was pretty cool, and I wanted to document that in my album as well. We also had my birthday, so there's my big birthday drink there, and I'm punching out these stars from this embellishment. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the holographic elements, but it was really fun to incorporate those throughout, and I just really liked that kind of difference from other collections, and I love that little witch so much, so I wanted to use that. And then we went to my in-laws because it was also Canadian Thanksgiving, and we always go to my in-laws that weekend and celebrate my birthday and my nephew's birthday. So here's a photo of myself and Adeline and my niece, and I just really like that trick or treat yourself embellishment too, so I add that to this card. I just really love that soft pink with the orange. It's like one of my favorite parts of this collection also. I was using a new adhesive because I used the chipboard sheet, but I peeled off the adhesive and I peeled off quite a few layers of the chipboard so that my album wasn't so massive. Because I had peeled off the adhesive, because I had peeled off the sticky backing, I had to use different adhesive. So I actually ran out of glossy accents, which I would normally use. So luckily, I had this kind of tacky glue, and I'm not even sure where I got it from. I think my mom might have given it to me or to the girls to use. So luckily I had that, and it's not my favorite because it doesn't it doesn't dry very quickly, but it got the job done and they're on there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first kind of section of embellishing my album. and you'll stay tuned for the next part where I finish my album. I so enjoyed making this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!